Hi, in this video I want to have a look at blues scales. Okay, so let's have a look at the blues scale. So first off, I want to look at what is a blues scale. Well, it's just a scale of notes or a fixed series of notes that give a nice bluesy sound, and is used a lot in blues music to achieve that sound. So you can use this blues scale or a blues scale for writing melody lines in blues music, for writing solos in blues music, or if you know the scale well, you can just use it to improvise over pieces of blues music. There's not just one blues scale, there's many different ones that comprise of many different notes. But to get you started in this video, I'm going to look at a 6-note blues scale, and probably the most common 6-note blues scale. So this is termed a hexatonic scale, so there's 6 notes in it. So what I want to do now is show you how you make this blues scale, and then after that I want to put it in practice and let you hear it. Okay, now I want to have a look at how you make up a blues scale. And in particular, this specific 6-note blues scale we're going to have a look at in this video. The reason is that if you know the steps to take to make the blues scale, you can then make it for any key that you're playing in. So you just pick the key, go through the steps, and you'll get the blues scale for that specific key. In this video, I want to look at the 6-note blues scale, and I want to do it in the key of E. And the reason I'm doing it in the key of E is because I have a standard tuned guitar here, which is, loosely tuned to E anyway. And also because a lot of blues music is written in the key of E as well. So it's a good scale to learn if you want to do a bit of improvising over some blues music in the key of E. Now, the first thing I want to say about the blues scale is that it relies heavily on the use of minor notes within it. And that's what gives it that slightly darker, you could almost argue off-key sound about it. So what I want to do now is go through the specific steps you would go through to get to the E blues scale. So the first place I want to start, if we're in the key of E, is have a look at the E major scale. And this is a 7-note diatonic scale, and the notes that are used in it are E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, E flat, and then back to E. So the E major scale is like that. But like I said, it relies heavily on the use of minor notes. So we don't really want that scale, but it's a starting point. What we want is the E minor pentatonic scale. And to get to that, the first thing we'll have to go to is the E minor natural scale. And to do that, we'll have to take that E major scale and flatten 3 notes within it. So we'll flatten the 3rd note in it, we'll flatten the 6th note in it, and we'll flatten the 7th note within it. So what you now have in the E minor natural scale is E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, and back to E. So it's So that's the E minor natural scale. To make it the E minor pentatonic scale, penta meaning 5, so it's only a 5-note scale and not a 7 one, we just knock 2 of the notes off. So what we do is we knock off notes 2, which is the F sharp, and 6, which is the B flat. So the E minor pentatonic scale is E, G, A, B, D, and then back to the E. So that's the E minor pentatonic scale. So we're pretty much almost there at the blues scale now. So we've got the minor pentatonic scale now, but that's a 5-note scale. And the blues scale we're going to look at is a hexatonic scale. So that's 6 notes in that scale. So what we'll have to do now is add in another note. And the note we're going to add in is something called a blue note. Now, I don't want to go into specifics of what blue notes are in this video. I'll do that in another video. Suffice to say, they're just notes that have a very bluesy sound when they're added into a scale. So the note we want to add in is a flatted fifth. Now, this is where it can get confusing. It's the 5th note of the natural minor scale that's flatted, not the 5th note of the minor pentatonic scale. Because music always runs on the, or Western music nearly always runs on the 7-note diatonic scale, you're always looking at it in this 7-note way. So when I say a flatted fifth, I mean the 5th note of the natural minor scale, not the 5th note of the minor pentatonic scale. So the 5th note of the natural minor scale is a B, so what we're adding in is a B flat as well, and that'll be the 6th note. So what we're going to do now is take our minor pentatonic scale and add in a B flat to make this 6-note blues scale. So if we remember the minor pentatonic scale, it was for E, it was E, G, A, B, D, and then back to E again. And we're just going to add in a B flat now, so it'll be E, G, A, B flat, B, D, and then back to E again. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, back to the start. So that is your blues scale, your hexatonic blues scale in the key of E or E minor. Now you don't have to play it in this lower position. Basically what you have now is 6 notes and you can play them anywhere on the neck. So like I said, your 6 notes are E, G, A, B flat, B and D, and you can play them anywhere on the neck. So like so. So that's the steps taken to make a blues scale, or this 6-note hexatonic blues scale. And I think when you hear it, you can hear the bluesy sound within it. And if you want it in another key, you just follow these steps. So for instance, if you wanted it in the key of G, you would get the G major scale. Off after that, turn it into the G natural minor scale. Then you would turn it into the G minor pentatonic scale, and then you would add in the flatted fifth blue note into there, and that's how you would get the blues scale for G. So if you follow these series of steps, you can get this blues scale for any key you want. So now I think the best thing to do is, now that we know what the scale is to show you in practice. So I'm going to have a look at a few examples of just playing over some chords using this blues scale. Okay, so now we know the notes for this hexatonic blues scale in the key E, and we can start using it in music. So like I said, it can be used for anything. It can be used to write melodies, it can be used just to improvise over a piece of music, or make up solos within music. It's really up to you. But what I want to show you is how it sounds with some chords played in the background. So for the first example, what I want to do is just play one chord. And the chord I'm going to play is just a straight E chord. Now, like I said, it is a minor scale we're using, but it will work on an E major chord, which is common in blues music. It will also work on an E minor chord. That's what makes a scale like this so flexible. But like I said, in blues music, it's usually likely to be an E major you're playing. So in the first example, I will just play an E major chord, and I will just randomly play notes from this scale over the top of it to let you hear how it sounds and how you can just improvise if you just know this scale. Now in the second example, what I'm going to show you is a chord sequence in the key E. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a standard blues shuffle in the key E. So that involves using the chords E, A and B. And again, as long as the music is within the key E, this will fit over it, and I want to show you how that works. So let's have a look at the first example. Okay, I think these examples showed that nice bluesy sound you get from this scale, and it also showed how it fits into music being played in the key E. So what I recommend you do is just give it a try yourself. Find some blues music in the key E, and you can sit and you can use the scale and improvise over the top of it. Or maybe have a go yourself at writing a piece of blues music in E using this scale to create the melody. I've shown you in this video how to create the scale. So if you want it in a different key other than E, I've shown you the steps so that you can write your own blues scale for that key. In future videos, I will have a look at other blues scales, but I think this 6-note blues scale that's shown here is a great starting point for learning this. Thanks for watching.